Hey, aloha everyone. Michelle, really excited because today I have Michael Jaco on. We're going to be talking about intuition, and he is a master. He's an intuitive warrior. Let me just do a little quick intro of this amazing warrior guy. He used to be, let me get my notes here. Tier 1 Navy SEAL. He's a former Tier 1 Navy SEAL, 11 years working in the CIA hunting terrorists around the world. He's also has over 20 years as an intuitive remote viewer, remote influencer. I really wanted this video today to be about understanding what's going on in the power inside our body. And Michael Jaco is one of the best in the world to talk about this. So thank you for joining me, Michael.
Thanks for having me, Michelle. Look forward to it.
So let's talk about, I always tell people this is not empty space where we're around. This is not empty. So tell us a little bit about your background in understanding also that there's something more to we are as human beings than what we've been told.
I started when I was a little kid. I remember I would get really sick, and I don't think I was going to be here for very long. And then I'd see an angel, and then when I see the angel, I was like, okay, I'm gonna live. I'm gonna continue. The angels are watching over me, and I get better after that. So I had a lot of experiences with that as a little kid, being sick and seeing angels, and I communicate with them occasionally. But as you get older, you're like, everybody's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And I kept trying to tell my mom that I see the angels, and she's like, come on, they're in the room right now. And she'd come in, and of course, they weren't there. But so I was like, well, maybe I am just hallucinating. I don't know, but I was seeing them. I believe it now because I saw one when I was in combat, a combat zone in Iraq. I thought I was dead, or I thought I was having an out of body experience, and I saw Archangel Michael, and I realized that I was dead. I was out of my body. I was leaving. And I had this thought that, man, I really feel like I could help humanity. And then I was like, oop, back in time, back in my body. The explosion happened at a distance instead of on me. And then from that point on, I had these incredible abilities. But I'd kind of developed myself up to that point. So I think I was ready to really take another leap into the consciousness realm of intuition and connecting with God source energies and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had an experience. I was like 12 years old, and I have a twin sister, and we were both on separate couches in the living room, and we were both afraid. We were both home by ourselves, and there was a lot of fear for us. And I remember all of a sudden being having paralysis, like sleep paralysis. I couldn't move, but I could see the hallway behind me, even though my eyes were closed. I could visually see the hallway, and there was a shadow man. There was a shadow something coming down the hall.
Mm.
And I just remember the fear was so intense. And I just said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, because there is something powerful with his name. And then I could move again. And I asked my sister, I said, did you just feel anything? And she had the exact same experience, exact
Ah,
I said the exact same words. And then,
confirmation. Yeah,
yeah,
good.
then we
That's
could,
beautiful.
have
Yeah, it's
you
good
had?
when you get those confirmations like that from others, and that's one of the things that helps strengthen your inner knowing and how you're really connecting.
Yes, absolutely. Tell us a little bit. You have some amazing stories, you guys. He's got some books, Intuitive Warrior, at his website, michaeljaco.com. It's absolutely incredible. And I do have questions about that because you have a story about combat. So tell us about, because it was something where the people around you really started to trust you after a while because you just seemed to know what was going to ha happen. Share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'd been to the point where I was able to, because I was controlling the teams. I was the head of the teams that were the movements and so forth in Iraq and Afghanistan and some other places. So I would get the intuition. So I wouldn't tell anybody about it. I would just hold my teams up, and then there'd be an attack. Right at the time we're supposed to be on a road or so forth. And so people were kind of like noticing that I had seemed to have these abilities. So I was like, that's good. So they're getting comfortable with it. So eventually I was in Pakistan, and I knew that this attack was coming. I couldn't control everybody. So I just told him, I said, stay off this road on this certain day because everybody traveled separately. We did different missions and operations and so forth. There's one road that we travel down quite often. Uh, and I said, stay off this road. on this day during this time frame. And then there was an attack on that road. So everybody was like, "What? What's going on?" And I was like, "Well, I have this ability to see these things." And it's like, "Well, what's the next one?" So I told them the next one, it was going to be a ma massive attack. I said, "Stay away from the embassy this time." And there was attack not far from where our embassy was. Shut down the whole city. It was a massive attack. Hundreds of people died in a car bombing and multiple car bombings actually. And everybody's like, "Okay, what's the next one?" So I just kept telling everybody from that point on what the things that I saw. Eventually, got to the point where uh, I stopped telling them because I was influencing. I'd see the attacks and then I'd influence them. So I would go in and I'd send it love, I'd send it energy, I'd create a bubble of energy around these things. So I'd already been doing that for myself and my teams in the homes that we were living in. So then I got to the point where I was very comfortable with actually influencing things from not happening. So that was another level again.
That's why I do the prayers that I do them.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's seeing the world the way we want it to be. Seeing
beautiful.
those in power who do not value human life or freedom or private property as bound and not able to do any more harm to the people. So I love that you said that. Now, are you doing anything like that now for as far as influencing as a regular practice?
Yeah, I do that quite frequently with like very negative figures in the world. There's been a few of them that have been influenced. I get because I would see people that have negative entities on them in combat. All of the terrorists that I was involved in tracking and taking down in some form or fashion. All of them are gone. So, and that was because I would send them love, and love is the strongest force in the universe. And if you're negative, very negative, that basically influences you, so that you're weak, as I understand it at this point. So I would send them love. Osama bin Laden, everybody knows that one. For a year before that, no one knew where he was. I was part of a team to help find him. The doctor that I was working with another case officer in the CIA, she said she was done working with him because he wasn't leading us anywhere. I said, "Stop, I think he's going to lead us to Osama bin Laden." He did. The rest is history. He was gone. So all I would do is just focus on Osama bin Laden and send him love. It's kind of like that one guy that does the Ho'oponopono, where he just, sends the love. He takes responsibility for everything. It sends it love, says thank you, and that's kind of what I would do, you know. And it just happened every time I would do that. It would take about a year, and those people were gone. And I've done that with many political figures that are out there right now. I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot of people that have been very negative to the world that are no longer around.
Yeah, we need to. I'm going to be starting to do that with our governor because our governor, you guys, just so
I'll
you know,
help you.
I don't know if people know about what's happening in Hawaii. We are in the state of an emergency right now. Our governor has signed 9 emergency proclamations based on administrative issues. He suspended 32 laws without legislation. We have an emergency proclamation because we don't have enough school bus drivers. And this man is he's something special. So we'll talk a little more about him later. But I do want to go back to this. If somebody's hearing this for the first time, because we all have intuition. And that's something that we can build on and we can grow and we can expand on, like you have, because you've been doing this for many years, decades, really.
Right.
I remember being a child. This is another quick story. I was a child and I was playing with my Barbie dolls, and I had a can of Aquanet hairspray, and I was trying to put a nail in the aqua this hairspray can for some reason to do something with my Barbie dolls. And I was little, and I just all of a sudden I have a hammer, and I all of a sudden I just feel this stop. And it was just like there was something around me that was like, do not do not hammer this nail into this can. And I just put the hand, and I felt how dangerous it was all of a sudden at once, and I put it down. But if someone is trying to expand this and learn how to be a stronger intuitive person, intuitive warrior, what would you tell them?
Just like, like I experienced, I learned to send love. So if you try and go after something that's negative, like your governor, if you if you're like, I'm going to fight him, I'm going to like, conquer him. So often those types of people, like your governor, are surrounded by negative entities. And so they're extremely powerful in that realm. They will defeat you. That's how I ended up, floating on my body because I tried to actually go against a demon that was attached to a guy that was causing a lot of the destruction and attacks in Iraq at the time. So then I learned from that, and I started sending love, and that guy was soon gone. Like I've talked about, all the people that I focused on with love are gone. So if you go after them in a negative way, that they can be negative for you. So you can do that with people. I've worked with a lot of people. I've helped a lot of people. But if that person has maybe a destiny, which I've learned with some people, you can help only so much if they have a destiny or they have an idea how they want things to go. They get, they like the influence from negative forces or so forth. They will continue to pull those on, and that's their path. They have to learn from that, and that's why they're probably here to learn certain things. So uh, don't get so wrapped up in helping everybody. Some people don't want to be helped. Some people are in the negative realm and they like it. So if someone does come to you for help, obviously help them. If you feel that you can help somebody, ask them. Don't force it. Right? You can send love to everybody, and everything. That's not a negative, and that's a given. You can always help people by sending them love, but whether they accept that love and do something positive with that love, as I can tell you with most of the terrorists that I focus that love on, that doesn't always work out so good for them, right? So just be aware of that as well. So if there's people in your life that you want to help, you can send them love. If there's things that you want to manifest, uh, if it's an egoic way of manifesting, probably not going to get a lot of traction with that. But if you're doing it for the greater good, like if you want to like create a health center that's going to help a lot of people, or you want to help the homeless, you're trying to get some kind of government funding or something, you start to send it, use your intuition, send it love, you know, see it in your mind manifesting. Those are the things that really manifest extremely fast. But some people are like, I've been trying to get this Lamborghini for a long time, like you said, Mike, and I keep focusing on it. It just doesn't come. I'm like, yeah, well, keep trying. We'll see what happens. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I love what you said is about sending love because the narrative is always around anger, hatred, separation. They want us to be angry, not like each other, and also confusion.
yeah.
Confusion is another one too. So, but when you send love, it's clear and it changes your frequency. It absolutely changes your frequency away from anger and hatred. And that's something that I've had to work on myself because I've been so angry with our governor. But but seeing the world as the way that we want it in the prayers that I do at the end are is just absolutely that's then again, this is not an empty space. And so actually that's what I wanted to ask you too is about because you said if that is their path, do you think this is a simulation we're in? What do you think about the world?
Yeah, I mean, we can go all the way back to 2012. There was a path that humanity was on that was not going to be a good one. There was a lot of us that worked to basically take us off that path and put us on a more positive one. So we're on a different path than the one that we were supposed to be on. And so we're on a very much more positive path. It's trying to be hijacked again, but it's not going to happen. We feel those forces that are trying to come in and take down humanity. There's a lot of different ones. Some people focus on them. I don't focus on them. I observe them. So focusing on a negative can actually manifest that in your life as well. So that's another key in this world of intuition. So if you want to manifest something positive for yourself, the world, your family, and on, focus on the positive things and, send it love and see it happening the way you want it to happen. That's what a lot of us did when we were on this negative path in 2012. We were focused on creating another path. And here we are on this path. like I said, there's a lot of this is the last ditch effort to try and sabotage humanity from rising in consciousness. It's basically a done deal. We're gonna ascend
Yeah.
consciousness wise, but there will be continual attacks, and it's like someone that's like a little dog that's nipping at your heels, and you're like you're running up the road, and you're gonna outrun them, and they're gonna like give up eventually. That's kind of the way I see the deep state and all the different entities that are kind of negative in our world right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to let people know I'm at my friend's ranch right now in Waimea, and so I do have horses behind me,
That's
eat,
beautiful.
jumping up the grass. Um, yes. The other thing I want to share around this is the media's always bombarding us with fear, but also I've noticed too, and I've done this as well, is it's important to prepare, absolutely, 100%. And it's important to understand where the dollar's going, getting out of the dollar, going into precious metals. Um, but not to fear it, not to fear it. It's like keeping that love and keeping that knowingness that you're always taken care of, because that is one thing that I've thought about a lot, is that the media and also other influencers are always like fear, 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 be afraid. There's something's coming down the pipe, and that is what actually helps to create it. So I'm like, oh, you guys see the world as free. What do you say about that? And then I have another question. I kind of want to change the subject to one more other.
Yeah, there's being observant, being aware of situations that can happen. I'm in combat zones. I can like just focus on positive things and flowers and stuff, but there is a reality that that's around us. We have to be aware of it. We have to prepare for certain potential eventualities, but not to the point where we're scared and we're just like we can't function because we're so scared these things are going to happen. That's going to pretty much manifest. Well, it's manifesting in your life if you're scared and you can't function.
Yep.
So it's already manifested. So you need to be in a position, in a place in your consciousness, in your mind, your body, and your soul, and your surroundings. I have beautiful surroundings. I always put myself in beautiful surroundings, and in environments that are very positive for my own soul development, like keeping myself in a high vibrational level. I don't, watch crazy stuff. I'm not a fan of horror movies, so I don't watch, crazy stuff. Some people like that fear, but you're manifesting that in your life. There's plenty of fear around us. Focus on, like you said, the positive things. So yeah, I'm an influencer. Uh, I think that the influencers are the ones that really are, you know, pushing consciousness at this point. So I'm very aware, because I'm always trying to bring in very positive things. I talked about in my last show, and some people get it, some people don't, but I still, drop in very informative information. Like Devil's Tower, that used to be a tree, and there's trees like that, that have been, they're like stone now, that can happen. So I tell people it's kind of like Avatar. Our planet used to be like Avatar. It used to be very beautiful, and these evil beings came and kind of like an Avatar, but they were humans. They came in and started to change our world. So we're changing it back. We're changing it back into a Garden of Eden. It's moving that direction. Of course, you're in a place where they're really trying to take down one of the most beautiful places in the world and destroy it. But they've been doing that for thousands and thousands of years. It's a progressive type thing they've been doing. So becoming aware of that and stopping that, so you can say, well, I don't want to focus on the negative, but that is a reality. So you have to focus on, like we're talking about, sending love to your governor. He's not the sole source of this problem, but he is one of the problems. So if you start taking down, like we used to do, we started taking down all of these terrorist leaders. Someone else would step up, and then it got to the point where no one wanted to step up anymore because they kept getting taken down. So that's kind of where we're at. We're taking down this evil cabal one by one. It's happening all over the world, and once we do that, then we turn this place back into the Garden of Eden. We have consciousness levels that are, expansive. We have off-world visitors. We travel off-world. All that's coming, but it doesn't come until we, take down this evil cabal.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. When I do the prayers, and I'll do one at the end, is binding him with Christ consciousness of unconditional love.
Love
And
that.
that frequency of love either turns his heart or has him change his actions or removes him in whatever way the movie wants to show us. And
Perfect.
that's what I think it is. I think we're in some type of movie and then we're each playing our part, because it's
Yeah.
not a mistake that you were guided to being a Navy SEAL and then CIA operative. And then it's like all of this stuff why? You could have been a painter, you know? So
Sure.
it's like something is guiding us. And for myself, fitness trainer, and then guided here to the islands, something is here that's helping us. And that's why I think it is a game. And I do absolutely believe this used to be some type of avatar world where we had more telepathy with the animals, because there is telepathy there. We just, we don't understand it as much as the animal does, but or some people are stronger in that as well. But I also feel that we could at one point communicate with the vegetation and the plants,
Sure.
because everything is a frequency. So there's nothing that's not. So I want to talk now a little bit about well, if there's anything you want to share about that topic, and then I want to talk about reincarnation, because you have that in your.
That's fantastic. I was just thinking about that, how it could like kind of filter things over in that direction. And here you're mentioning it. So that this is a result of two people that are very intuitive. We've worked together quite a bit. So we ping off each other. We know kind of like where things are going. So that's kind of cool. That's something that everybody can see right now. So we're both and the horses, when they started coming up, the energy was really good. They like that. So animals are attracted to that. So it's cool.
Yeah, they definitely they feel it, and also feel not if feel the reverse as well. So it's really interesting. And also this is something, you guys, that people can strengthen, and that's one thing that I really invite people and encourage people to do. It's like I like to go around, and when I was in Oahu, we were just in Oahu I was helping my friend with her surgery, and we were downtown, and I was feeling anxiety. I was feeling anxious and anxiety. And then my friend was like, "Are you sure that's yours?" Because I don't usually feel that. And I was like, "You're right. We're walking around and it's Christmas time and there's tons of people, which I'm not used to being around." So it is a feeling, so you can strengthen it. Let's talk about reincarnation.
Yeah.
And also, King.
That's interesting what your friend said. That's very intriguing because I'm an empath. Obviously, you are, and so when you get those feelings, that's for everybody. When you get some feelings like that, it could be because you're just picking up on other people's energy. So that's something to be aware of as well. Cool.
Yeah, I was in a store once and I remember all of a sudden tears just started coming. I was crying and I couldn't stop crying. And I was like, why am I crying? And there was nothing for me to cry about. And then I just asked, I said, is this mine? And I was like, no, it's not. And as soon as it was a no, I was like, return to sender with love, and I stopped crying. But literally it was like a waterfall. And yeah, so that is and we all have that ability at some point, at some level. Everybody has that. And it's something that it's important to ask if it's yours, because if you're not feeling good, if you're feeling anxiety, is this mine? And if it's not, you return to sender with love, and so you can stay grounded in doing whatever it is that you're up to at that time.
Yeah, and that empathy, you're probably people are like, Mike, you're like a warrior. You don't have empathy, do you? Yes, and that's probably why I survived so well because I could feel the enemy, and I had compassion for them, and I would send them love, and sometimes I'd send them bullets, unfortunately, but and then bombs, but no one ever died on either side. There were people that were trying to kill us. That they were wounded. They learned from that experience and they never messed with us again. But no one in my group or in the groups that I was confronted with was ever killed. Well, other than Osama bin Laden and some of those terrorists, but I gave them the chance. I gave them the love. So that was their path. That was their choice.
Yep, yep, that's their Kuleana. That's what we say up here. Reincarnation, Michael. What do you think about that? And I just saw your book, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce this. King Abimelech of Gera, who was allied with Abraham. Talk a little bit about.
Abu Mayak, yeah. So so I have all these memories. I would get these insights. Sometimes I would get I had psychics that would help me eventually in the beginning stages because I wasn't able to like, kind of tap into those energies at first. My remote viewing enabled me to go into those lifetimes eventually because I was like, I'm looking into the future. Why can't I just go into the past? So that's kind of the stuff I started to do. But I had some very, very high level psychics that were helping me, and they were able to guide me. So they would kind of guide me. They would tell me who I was, and I would look at the time frame. I was like, I've always, felt very strong about that. And so I have memories of being with Abraham. I was one of the kings in what the area would be now Israel, and we defeated a lot of the people, the tribes around there. Uh, he was he was of the one God, and there were a lot of the tribes in that area were of the many gods. They're into child sacrifice, which Abraham almost did child sacrifice, but he was like, "Oh, the angel stopped me." That's kind of a story, but it is what it is. It worked out pretty good. So I have memories of that, and I have memories of us like in chariots with horses, and I was like, there's no horses in that area. What am I thinking about? And there is. You go back in time, and you can see that the horses were there in Israel during the time frame that I'm talking about. And so you start to get those keys when you have these memories of a past life. You start to look in the time frame. It's much easier now because when I started to go into this, the internet wasn't that good, and you usually had to go to the library to get information, but I was able to really tap into some of these things, and I just really calmed myself and went into a meditative state, and just looked at that time frame, and it's got all these images and visions, and working with people, and people that I'm with now are with me again in this life. So it's pretty impressive when you start to make the connections.
Yeah, and Jesus actually talked about reincarnation. It's not in the Bible, so what people don't understand is Constantine, the Council of Nicaea, literally decided what was going to be put into this King James is the version that we have, the 1611 version that we have, and many books. I heard it was that it's like 75 books were kept out, and part of it was the fact that Jesus did talk about reincarnation. And so people who do follow the Bible, it's it's something you need to look deeper into. But I do want to talk about the well, first of all, I want to talk about like get your opinion on that, but also the fact that this evilness that does run the world, because there is an evil here, it's some type of spiritual war, has been here for thousands of years. And it's child sacrifice has been going on for a very, very long time. What would you
Yeah.
say?
So I have lifetime where I remember with Jesus, uh, and I was a centurion. So I gave him the option. I was like, I can, you don't have to do the cross thing. And he's like, this is part of my path. I'm going to do that because I'm going to show that you can come back from the dead. And so that's what he did. And you start to make those connections, and it's pretty impressive. Now,
Mhm.
Constantine the Great. Uh, I was Constantine the Great, and Constantine the Great basically said that the reason why he controlled the information about past lifetimes is because there were many wars that were going on because people were having such a crazy fit about that being included within the works of the Bible. So Constantine's like, well, you guys are going to kill each other. I'm just going to take it out, and there won't be any problem. So that's you kind of look at bigger picture. You start to see some of these things. Constantine was a sun worshiper, and they said on his deathbed that he wanted to become a Christian. No, so but he supported Christianity, and of course, Christianity became part of the Roman Empire and went forward. So those are some of the contributions that you do throughout time. So imagine being back in the time frame of Abraham, and there was a mystic in Israel at the time, and that was Jesus. And Jesus worked with a lot of people, and I remember working with him there. And then I remember working with him in the lifetime as Yeshua, and when he was crucified. but I'd had many lifetimes with him before that. And then, lifetimes in the future, I brought in the religion to be the powerhouse that it is today. So that's one of the things I do in many lifetimes. I've done that with many other religions. I've done it with Buddhism. So I was with Buddha as well, and helped bring in Buddhism to the point where it is now. So crazy stuff. I mean, it's hard for some people like, you think you're all those things. Those were not easy lives. They're,
No, yeah, definitely. Back in the day, it's like what was somebody was saying, Michelle, would you want to be a queen in the medieval times or here? And I'm all here. They didn't have
yeah,
right.
you would. So, because
Absolutely.
your whole family and all the royalties trying to kill you to take your power. Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And we're
So
seeing it now. I mean, look at Trump. He's like, how many times have he been almost killed? So it's like it still continues.
and so let's talk about one, what's happening now, especially with Israel, but also the fact that for there's something else that's running, and it's a deeper. It's I feel what the research I've done is that there's some type of energy, of frequency, of evilness that does want the planet to go in a certain way. But you're right about the ascension because so much truth is being revealed about what it is that we truly are. And there's also the fact that there have been chakras in our bodies that go down into the earth, that go up into the ethers that we haven't been told about. And once we start actually aligning those different chakras, that's when it's like game over. And that information is coming out. So, what do you think about Israel and what's happening now? And then, lastly, about the evil that is still here, still running things?
Yeah, I mean, we got pretty close to a one world government, new world order, as they said it for a long time. Uh, the Trump team, obviously not just Trump, but there's a whole team behind him. Some of them good within his team, some of them bad. Even in his first administration, he had to dump a lot of people. He's done a lot better this time, but there's still some people in there that are like, dragging their feet and causing, things not to happen. But with a one world religion,
Mhm.
that was going to be in Israel, and I think that's been stopped out. So they were going to have like the hologram, in the sky of, it would be Jesus for those that are Christians. It would be uh, uh, I forget what the Muslims, what their uh,
Allah?
who is it?
Is it Allah?
Not Allah, not the God, but there was supposed to be some prophet or something that was supposed to come back, kind of like a
Muhammad?
Jesus figure.
Yeah.
Not Muhammad, but it was, I forget who it is. But anyway, it was supposed to, it would be whatever your religion is, you would see that. So that's kind of the way that it was going to be hologrammed in the sky. And so that would, impact your consciousness. You would see what you wanted to see. And of course, we all do that now. I tell this story all the time. Think about the time where you bought a brand new car. It's like it's brand new to you, and then you buy it. And it's like, I got this car, and you've never really seen this car before on the street. But once you buy it, you see it everywhere.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's kind of you can see what you are focused on, and that happens for a lot of things. So some of us can see things on different consciousness levels and so forth. But as far as like this one world religion that was coming, that was supposed to be started in Israel. So we've heard that Israel will be saved for last. It's basically being shut down for a lot of these New World Order type stuff. It's a like I say the area when I talked about my lifetime with Abraham, I said in the area of Israel, but it wasn't really known as that back then. And there wasn't a six-pointed star back then. It wasn't all these different things that we seem to think this is all about Israel. The six-pointed star is like a Rothschild symbol. So
That's right. And that's completely right. There's only one place in the Bible that the six-pointed star is, and it actually says you're worshiping your God. Was it not Moloch, but Remphan. You're worshiping the god Remphan with this symbol, and that's the only place in the Bible that it's at. So it's very interesting that more people don't understand that the Star of David is actually that wasn't his star.
no,
So it was yeah, and that's another thing too, is because there's so much symbolism. So the book that I wrote, Death of Freedom, I actually had another chapter, a whole chapter on symbolism in the government, but I'm like, it kept growing. I'm like, I can't put this in because it's a whole nother book. So I'm doing
That was one of the Q posts. Symbolism will be their downfall, and that's great because you've really done an exceptional job. Your work has been phenomenal at that level. Really digging down, like you talk about, and finding where this all started, and exposing that. And that's part of what being intuitive is about. You're not like just casting about, and you know exactly where to cast your line and get the fish. So that's what intuition's all about too. You really know how to like dig in the right places and get the right information and then serve humanity by revealing that information. It takes a lot of courage to do that because you're going to get a lot of pushback, even by people that are well-meaning. I talked about last night in a show that I'd been in Miami and I saw like a homeless population poop in the streets and drug use and all that kind of stuff. And several people came in the show. I've been in Miami for like 50 years or whatever, and I've never seen anything like that. Again, you see what you want to see, and there was probably a lot of, in Rome before the Vandals came in and basically sacked Rome. There was probably a lot of Romans in there, like no one will ever be able to take us down. And of course, their history after that, Rome was gone. So
yeah.
it is something that is, that egoic, closed-mindedness is something we try to break through. But it's very difficult, and they will try to attack you to make you the enemy when you try and bring out information to help them.
Yeah, yeah, I absolutely agree with that because I've had people, say that, oh, that didn't happen. I remember my second book, The Great Maui Land Grab, and I was on with some people and they couldn't believe what I was saying. And I'm like, I have pictures. I can show you the people didn't burn the way that you regularly burn in a fire. And so that is quite true. And I also feel that people are going to wake up when they're ready because this information is so heavy and it is scary for people. My mom, she's actually listening to the audiobook and because she actually wrote me and she's told me she was proud of me and she was happy was but she bought she like had a stack of the red pills in her house, you know. So I mean, so yeah.
Some of them are tough to swallow. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I'll be with that one for a little while. I got to be with that red pill for a while.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the way a lot of us have been. We've gone through that work, and we're trying to help others, and we can see the process. We're not. I'm not dissing anyone because you don't get it. If your pineal gland isn't clean because it's calcified and you can't make the connections, I understand. A lot of us have been through, going through this process, cleaning our pineal glands and making the connections and then helping others make those connections. It's a process.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really true. You have to be ready and the detoxing is really important because they have been bombarding us with the chemtrails, with the soil, with everything. Just so you guys know, the horses are on this side now, but if you hear them neighing or anything like that. But I do wanted to share around we have actions, you guys. There's actions that you can take. The Death of Freedom, the book, I actually have what are called citizen memorandums against the chemtrails, against the climate change narrative, and also against something else. I can't. I'm going to put this on YouTube, so I don't want to say anything about the thingy. I got a strike again, and in
Oh
YouTube
no.
probation for like the past year, and then I was out for 2 weeks, and I got put back in, and I didn't even say anything. I'm like, what? There wasn't anything about a medical anything, but they said I had medical misinformation, so won't mention anything about that. But
Yeah,
anyway, let's go back to the
I get
world.
those too. So it's frustrating.
Oh my gosh.
I
And
have one that expires today. I got a warning and it expires today. So I'm like, okay, I can get another warning now. So it's woo. It's like
yeah,
I
right?
have a
Yeah.
little recover. I can talk a little, I'll try and push it like you. Everyone knows at this point, there's we're very, very sliver-like with our free speech again. It's not complete. It wasn't complete ever. But at least we did have some sort of free speech before. COVID. But since then, they pressed really, really hard. They almost got away with controlling the whole world. It was very, very close.
Oh, it was close. It
And it
was
was
close.
because of many of us, push back and help people wake up that it didn't happen.
And that's why we need numbers. We need numbers to do this work and take these actions and put the government back in their place because the Congress was never supposed to have this kind of power. That's not what the founding fathers wanted for this country. So, but they did because of the agencies that were created in the District of Columbia, which was outside of the United States, and those agencies' fingers were put they put themselves into the sovereign states, and that's how freedom got taken away because of the rules, regulations, policies of these agencies. So people are like, what happened? That's basically in a nutshell what happened. But I want to go back to you because your work is so amazing and so helpful. You've helped so many people with your intuitive warrior because I really feel that that's the next stage of humanity. You know, for those of us people, some people think they're going to go toward AI and they're going to get the chip and they're going to be able to play video games with just their mind. That's transhumanism that takes you away from really exploring and understanding what you are and the frequency you are and the power that you have is astronomical. That's why we're bombarded by all these poisons because they know how powerful we are. We don't know. But you definitely are one of the warriors that are helping wake people up with the knowledge of understanding what we are, the frequency of what we are. So I want to say thank you for that.
Well, thank you. And yeah, so that transhumanism, people want that to a certain extent. They're convinced that that's going to be good for you. We just saw in Australia where they took away the social media rights of I guess 16 and below. That's just a creep. And Australia's been doing this for quite some time. It took away everybody's guns, and now they're taking away the social media. And of course, they come in and say, this is why, they have all these stories of, bad things that happen. One out of a million, they find one, and it's like, okay, see, this is why we got to, take away their free will and their ability to communicate with each other, because we know that they're the next generation, and if we can stop them from communicating with each other, then we can have control of the next generation. So that's crazy. So I think they let them do it because I don't know what's going on in Australia, but they keep getting away with some crazy stuff like that. But we all have these powers.
Mhm.
People are like, well, I want the chip because I want to have the power to communicate with the computer and so forth. I mean, we all have these powers already. We just demonstrated how, I was thinking about, past lives and you bring it up. Uh, but you can communicate, you can be thinking about something, the phone rings, it's that person. Almost everybody's had that. Most people don't go, I like that. I'd like more of that. Thank you. Most people are like, it's just a coincidence. And you're basically telling your mind, you don't want that. So it doesn't happen that much for you. But if you start to, have these abilities, then they'll come more and more to you. Like a lot of people are like, well, I'd like to make my whole state, safe and get rid of the baddies. Well, you can do that, but you have to learn a few things that you can't hate on them, because if you hate on them, you power them up. So
Right.
every time you think one negative, you have to back it up by 10 positives. That's how powerful a negative thought or a negative action is. So it takes a lot of energy to overcome that, because we're in a fairly negative world. We have all these influences and so forth from education, politics, churches. There's lots of negative out there to keep us in these negative frequencies.
Yeah.
So breaking free from that is a monumental task, and when you do, you're one of a very small percentage of humanity, but you can have a massive impact. Like I've talked about how I've had these impacts where really bad people have gone away, and it's like not really that much of a. It's not like a whole army came at them. It's just one guy with the love energy. So it's like, that's what we have the power of. If I can do it, you can do it. But I go to conferences and I speak at events. I have people come up, I muscle test them. You're strong when you're thinking love, all right? I can manipulate energies. I can like, run my hands down a body and have them raise their arms because I just ran my hands down the body. Their energy flow is going down. So I just like muscle test them with their arms up and boop, the arms just go down. Everybody's like, what did you do? And the audience is like, wow. But it's just understanding energy. And then I teach them how I can do that. And if they hold the love vibration and I try and press down, even after sweeping them, I can do it with my mind too. I show them how I don't even like use my hands. I just think it and they're weak. And so I'm like, all right, I show them, you know, have them raise their arms, hold the love frequency, think of love, and they're like much stronger than they ever were. So I can show that to people. And then I was like, okay, so we're going to like, send love to Governor so and so. And they're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that. I hate that.
That's right. That's so true. That's so true. But
It's
it is
hard. It's hard.
what we need, and that's exactly why they want us to not like him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that frequency of love is really, really powerful. You're talking
He
about
does things to keep that hate going.
yes. Yes, that'll feed him more. That'll feed the situation.
And
So
it's
we
true.
again,
Yeah.
in Hawaii, like our biosecurity law that they passed, the government right now, I don't think I talked about this yet, can literally come into people's property right now in Hawaii and take their property and because of a biosecurity reason, there's a fly or a pest or they don't have to have proof, they don't have to have due process, and the homeowner has 60 days to sue the government to get their property back. And so they can do that right now. They can confiscate animals and food. So what we're doing is and we need numbers. It's numbers and it's trusting in the infinite creator and following our guided intuition of doing this work. And I have a biosecurity amended law that we're sending to our legislative body that takes out this section of the law. So
Good.
we're working on it, and we have it's a medical a freedom event that's coming. It's going to be the beginning of January. We have Mickey Willis, Dr. Robert Malone, Dr. Ryan Cole, and
Wow.
Jimmy Dora is going to be coming in Oahu and Maui, but the other ones are going to go to all four islands. And we're doing this event to get numbers so we can take these actions, not just this one. And I'm just going to say this on Rumble and BitChute. The other action we're taking is keep vaccines optional because our governor last year tried to mandate vaccines that all children in the entire state had to be fully vaccinated to go to any school. And that bill timed out. It didn't not pass, it timed out. So we are believing that they're going to bring that back. That's why we're doing this event for parental rights. And we need numbers. We just need numbers. But we got this because people care about their children. When their children are up on the chopping block, that's when people start to step up. And I think,
And we saw that with the COVID time frame in America where they were mandating and mama bears as we call them at the time went to the city councils and school board meetings and really pushed and they made the difference. They started the pushback. And it was because of that pushback. I remember this one girl in Florida, little girl, she's like I don't know, she's 8, 10, 12, something. She's a small little girl. And so they had her at the meeting, and she says, I have been restricted from coming to school 12 times, and all of you are going to jail for that." And that went
nice.
viral all over the country. And they shut it down. It's like no more restrictions for children going to school, masking, anything. So you're right. We need things like that go viral and make an impact. And people are like, no more of that. And if it's of course, the children are always going to be impacted. If they're living in your home, they come in and like seize your home because they say you have some kind of a mold or whatever that's not even existent. It's just a way to seize people's homes. And we saw that in Canada during the trucker convoy, where Canadians were pushing back on that, extreme, government, control system. They came in and took people's money out of their bank accounts, seized it. So that's crazy. I have a friend Brad Wozny, that had that happened to him, and he was like trapped in Costa Rica for like a couple of years because they basically wouldn't allow him to come back in the United States, wouldn't allow him to come back into Canada. He was a man without a country for years.
Wow. Yeah, there's other things. I found a bank alternative that actually uses precious metals. Uh,
Good.
and I couldn't believe how fast that money is growing now because how fast the silver and gold and silver is going up. It's pretty amazing.
It
Um,
really.
but absolutely. And also each one of us I feel is here for a reason. Like I feel like again, you could have been anything. You chose to be a Navy SEAL, a CIA, and now doing this work. And that's why if you guys are watching this, it's not a mistake you're watching. There's something that's guiding you to doing this. You guys can go to standtogetherhawaii.com. And what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to do monthly let's take action events, and you can take action in your own area. I'll give you guys a template that you can use for your area to start to send citizen memorandums to your legislative body. Our power is citizen memorandums, affidavits, and bills. Getting bills passed through Congress, through the legislative body. So those are our powers. Let's do it. Let's do it. And then the fourth power is don't comply. Just don't freaking comply, because that's the other thing too. Like these beaches were supposed to be shut down in California. I was in Santa Cruz, and the best beginner surf spot in the beach in Santa Cruz is Cowell's Beach. And I went there, and there's this huge sign, huge, beach closed, and the beach was packed with people walking by the sign. Nobody was around saying anything because so many people, you can't stop a horde of people that are saying no. So that's the other thing I want to share too is don't be afraid. I've had to pray to the infinite creator when I've gone into stores without masks on. And every time I did, it worked out. It was scary. There was things that
Good.
happened. The cops got called, but then we end up taking the police chief to the police commissioner, complained against him and the five officers that came. He ends up retiring 2 months later. So, it's like, just take this action, trust in your journey. They want us to be afraid. And our source of what we are, the core of what we are, is not afraid. It's loving and it's courageous, and we've got this. So,
Yeah. That's good. I'm in Incline Village, north of Lake Tahoe, but I was in South Lake Tahoe when all the restrictions were coming in back in 2021 and so forth. But our I knew a lot of the guys that were in the sheriff's office and so forth, and they didn't push anything. If you did follow the rules, they looked the other way or didn't do anything. So we had a lot of people on the beaches too. It was really good.
nice. That's exactly what needs to happen. Jaco, is there anything else you want to share? And then we'll do a prayer.
No, I'm looking forward to the prayer. Yeah, it's that's that's the most powerful thing that we can do right now, and that's going to attract us to the people, places, and times that we need to, really make the change that it's going to make our lives and our country better.
Awesome. I totally agree. All right. So I invite you to close your eyes and drop into your human body. Whatever it is you're feeling, let yourself feel that frequency without trying to fix it or make it right or wrong or good or bad. You are here on the planet exactly in the location on Earth you're supposed to be in, and you are completely guided. You are guided to watching this video. You are guided in your life. And just take a deep breath and let your chest expand with that inhale, and then just exhale and notice your human body. Your body is breathing itself. There is an infinite creator that's beating your heart. This infinite creator of love is moving the sun slowly across the sky. It's running the tides. It's guiding the honeybees to their flower, and it's guiding you on your journey right now in this present moment. So just notice where you're at in the world and find in your own heart that frequency of peace, that feeling of freedom, freedom to do whatever it is that you want to do, as long as you're not harming yourself or others. Give yourself permission to feel free. Give yourself permission right now to feel that all people, all sentient beings are safe on the planet. Give yourself permission to explore this emotional frequency in your own body first. Where would it be if peace and freedom were a tree in your body? Where would the roots be? Where do you feel it the most? Freedom and peace. And just put one hand right there where you feel it and one hand on your heart and breathing into this, fully embracing yourself, your own journey. It hasn't been easy for anybody. So having compassion for yourself, Buddha says you, more than anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and compassion. So sending yourself compassion and love and noticing that feeling in your body that you are free, that you are at peace in your life and in the world right now. And now we feel that frequency, and you can place your hands on your lap, and we send it to the room we're in, the exact room. Let that frequency go out to the room like it's pressing against the walls, this feeling of freedom and of peace. And now sending it to your entire house, all the rooms around your house, all your neighborhood, like this frequency of peace and of freedom and of love goes out your house, goes down your neighborhood like the wave of an ocean. It just starts to encompass all of your area of where you live, your town, your city, your state, your province. It starts to just go out all the way, your entire country, your entire nation. The sister nations, ours, mine, is all the Hawaii Islands. My frequency goes out to the mainland and to Canada and to Mexico. It goes out to Europe, to Ukraine, goes out to Gaza, to Israel, to China, to Australia, to New Zealand, and it wraps around the whole entire planet. This frequency of love, of peace, of harmony, and of freedom, that all people matter, that our children are safe. And right now, Great Spirit, we are so grateful that we can feel this frequency around the planet. And we know it is done, that this world is becoming a better place. And we call forth all angels to be with anybody who is being held against their will, that the path to freedom is lit up so brightly that there can be no evil around it, that these people who are held against their will right now are freed, that they are kept safe at this present moment and throughout their journey toward freedom. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you so much, Great Spirit. Great Spirit, we send so much love. The frequency that grows the vegetation, that grows the grass, that grows the trees behind me, that frequency of love, we send it to all leaders around the world, to all leaders. We bind them with this frequency of Christ consciousness of unconditional love, that their hearts be turned toward doing what is right for the people, or they be peaceably removed from power or removed in whatever way that is fitting at this time. We call forth that right now. We know it is done because we call it forth. Great Spirit, thank you so much for always guiding each one of us. We send so much mahalo nui loa. Thank you so much to Jaco and his family and his journey, his own journey, which has not been easy either. We send him so much abundance and so much light and so much love, knowing that he is always taken care of and always protected. And we send this same frequency of light, love, freedom, and peace and harmony to all light workers, including that person that is watching this video right now. That person is lit up with love, freedom, and peace, that they go forward after today and that they be a change maker in the world as their frequency helps to make the world a better place. We call this forth right now, Great Spirit. We give so much gratitude as we get to watch things unfold. We trust our intuition. We trust our guidance. We trust in you, Great Spirit. We trust in you. Thank you so much. And so it is. Thank you,
Wow.
Mike, for joining me.
Michelle, that was great. That was amazing. Amazing meditation. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, we'll do this again sometime. And much mele kalikimaka. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. Thank you.
All right. Aloha.
Aloha.